Hello all, hope you are doing well. Today we are going to understand what is inheritance with the help of classes, how to achieve inheritance with the help of classes in JavaScript. So for that, we should create few classes and let's see how we can achieve inheritance with the help of classes. And one more thing, what is the importance of super constructor? That is the most important thing, especially when you are dealing with the classes in JavaScript. So I'm just creating two classes. One is suppose let's create one class first, that is employee. Employee and class name should start with a capital letter, and we should have a constructor, default constructor to define the properties. So employee has the first name and the last name, age, so gender, like department name and role. Okay, a lot of details are there, right? So for that, what we can do here, this dot, the first name is equal to the first name, and this dot, the last name is equal to last name, and this dot age equal to age, and this dot so gender equal to gender, and this dot department name is equal to department name, and this dot role equal to role. That's fine. Even you can define n number of properties for that um, class, and here get employee details. Okay, you can return all the details in a console.log. I'm just writing console.log. So here I'm going with this backticks, the dollar dot like this dot the first name, and the dollar like this dot the last name. And in the same way, you can define the few more details, that is age, okay, gender, department name, and role. Super, this is very important for us. So get details. So I'm just define do console.log for everything. So even if you want, you can just write like this. This is going to be more interesting for you in terms of readability. So fine, we have created a class, and that constructor expecting six variables, and get employee details has a it is a method, and we can go with and create a class, sorry, object with that class. Okay, constant employee one is equal to new employee. Okay, employee. So employee expecting six details. Okay, first name and last name. Okay, let me write first name like Vijay, and the last name as K, and age is 23, and gender male. Okay, department HR department, like a role a manager. Suppose imagine that. So simple. Do a console.log, console.log. Please practice along with me so that you can understand easily. Console.employee one. Even if you just do employee one dot, so get employee details. Okay, this is simple, and you will log the all details. So just refresh. So you got employee at the constructor and you got the details of employee Vijay K 23 and male HR and manager. So if you see this is the employee object, you have all the details and get the detail that method is part of a prototype. So already we discussed about the prototype. So if you create a class, automatically it will create a prototype on all the methods which you have defined are part of this prototype. So get employee details. Fine. We can discuss about that later. So now we have created one class. With the help of that, we have created an object. Everything is fine. Everything is fine. But if you see, someone has created another class like this. Someone has created class. So department, this is another class, and this class is just specific to the department. Okay, this class is defined just for the department. Here, same thing. He's expecting department name, department name, and a role. And here, okay, how we have defined in the class employee. Here also same. And here we have a method called get department details of employee, or otherwise just department details of that employee, particular employee. So here you can define console.log. Again, go with the backticks and it's the dollar. Okay, this dot department name and dollar this dot role. So if you create another object like department one is equal to new department, and you can provide the value of department and role like this. The constant department one is equal to new department. The same thing like here HR, and you can provide the details like this. So what will happen if you want to access those details like console.log, okay, department one, and even you can call the department one dot get department details. So just refresh. It's working fine. This department is HR and role manager, and the method which you have defined in that department class is a part of the prototype of that department class. Okay, so observe carefully. Here's something wrong. What is something wrong? Because in employee also we are using department and role. Of course, we are creating similar kind of similar objects, like properties. Here also same, right? It's a repetitive code, right? So if the department class is already available, so why we need to define department and name and role again in the employee? Okay, it's not a good thing. So instead of defining department name and role on top of employee class, it's better to separate. We can take help from a department class. So for that what I'm doing. So if you see here, employee one dot have every details like first name, last name, age, gender, department, and role. So what we are going to do, we should take this department and role from department class. Okay, that's the good practice in a programming. So we should avoid duplicate code or something. So with the help of inheritance, we can remove this duplicate kind of repetitive logic. So already get department details method is there, so we can use that method. So right now we don't have any relation between this employee and department. Both are just identical with each other. So my expectation is, okay, instead of department and role defining directly here, I want to use the department class for this employee. Okay. So what I'm doing here, department, I'm just removing all the information about department and role in in employee class. In employee class. So here Here also I'm just removing these details. So very, we are going to learn super important things now. So please practice. Okay, whatever we have explained, what we discussed, please do practice and then watch the next things. Okay, right now what we are doing, okay, here it's not possible for us to take inheritance from the object to a class. So right now I'm just commenting this. We are not trying to inherit from the department one object like HR or manager or something. We are trying to inherit from the base class like print or a blueprint or a template, what we can say, that's a class. So here, how to take the inheritance? This is very simple. Okay, class employee extends the power of department. Okay, I want to use the power of department. Okay, instead of writing the same things again and again in an employee also. So now if you do extends department, that means you can use the department name and role and get details. That means methods and properties of the parent class or base class. Okay, suppose if you see class employee extends department means department is the parent class or a base class. Employee is the derived class or a child class. Okay, what we can say. So here we should remember one important thing, because since we are not inheriting from the department one object, we are inheriting from the department. So our responsibility is to provide the department and role. Okay, previously we are providing the details, the department and role, right? So if you don't provide, you will get some error. So if you see right now we don't have any department kind of thing. We are take inheriting from the department. So now if I try to do employee one dot get employee details, okay, I'm just calling employee details only. I'm not even trying to fetch department details. So if you see, whenever I do log, so it is throwing an error. This is very important. So because we are going to learn React.js, okay, in that React.js, if you want to create any components, initially we are going to learn how to create a components with the help of classes only. At the time, this is very important. So if you see, it is saying that uncaught reference error must call super constructor in derived class. Okay, observe carefully what is suggesting. Must call super constructor in derived class before accessing this, means before accessing this keyword. So if you see in the derived class, we are trying to access this keyword, right? So of course, because if you want to access any property in that particular class, definitely we are going to use this keyword. What is saying? Before using this keyword, please do a super constructor. Please take care of, you must call super constructor. What is a super constructor? What the hell is this? Okay, so far we didn't see that, right? So now here this is very important. So if you see, understand here, the first name and last name, age and gender you are providing. So happy. But who will provide the department name and role? Okay, you're trying to inherit the details from department. You want to utilize the power of department. But who will provide the department and role of that employee? We should provide, right? So for that, this is initially maybe you will get some confusion, but if you see, this is very important. When very important, this is the super constructor. So this super, that means you're whenever you're invoking this method called super, that means it is invoking this constructor. It will execute this constructor, and this constructor is expecting department and role. Now it is expecting two details, that is department and role. So for that, okay, from where we will get that department and role? Same. So with the help of this constructor, employee constructor, we should pass again department, department name and role. So we will pass department details and role information to our employee class, and he will bypass that information. to a parent class. This is very, 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 very important. So just note down, this is very important interview question as well. So what we are doing, the first name, last name, age, gender are part of employee, so that we don't have any problem. But department name and role are part of department class. So we are inheriting the things from department class. We are not inheriting from department one. If you are able to inherit from department one, at the time this HR and manager information already there. But we are not inheriting from this. We are inheriting from the class, the blueprint, the printout, right? Like not printout is a blueprint or the architect layout or something. Okay, so in that way, that is our responsibility to bypass the information of department name and role, so that you don't face any issue. That is mandatory. So now if you see what we need to do, I'm passing here the HR and here manager. So this employee name is a Vijay, last name is K, age 23, is a man. Of course, maybe for 23 years, maybe he can't become a manager. Okay, let me add 33 or 35. Okay, fine. So now things resolved. So you can't see any error message. So you see, you got the details. Now the super important thing is you can access methods of parent class also, right? So if you see, whenever you do employee one dot, now employee one has a first name, last name is also there, and age is also there, gender is also there, property, and at the same time department name and role you can access parent class information also. And right now it is showing two methods. One is coming from employee, that is get employee details. One is coming from get department details, right? That is coming from department. That means we are able to achieve the inheritance. Now let me call the department details. That means, so for employee it has a department details. We can see the department details of an employee. So if you see, that is HR manager, and this is employee details, this is department details. We are taking from the parent class. So of course already I logged the employee one, so that here we can observe that the prototype chain. So this now age, department, first name, gender, last name, role is part of an employee. Observe carefully. Observe carefully. These properties are binded to this object called employee. That's the power of inheritance in especially JavaScript. So maybe if you already know the concept of inheritance in Java or C Sharp.NET, there is slightly difference in JavaScript, and here the super keyword is super constructor is very, very important. So just learn as it is in JavaScript. Okay, don't try to mix our knowledge of Java or other programming languages, oops concepts here, because here mainly it is dealing with a prototype and prototype chain. So we can do this same inheritance with the help of constructor functions, but syntax wise the classes are very, very simple. That's why we are using the classes in JavaScript from 2015 ES6 features. So if you see this, what is the prototype of employee? Department, right? The prototype of employee is a department, and what is the prototype of department? Okay, so it is coming from sorry. This employee, right? The prototype of this employee is employee. That means get employee details is a part of this prototype, and get department details is a prototype of department. So that's a prototype chain. So I will draw here prototype chain for this object. Suppose what is that object name? That is employee one. It is coming from employee class, and this employee class is inherited things from department, so that is the prototype chain. This department again taking help of a super important constructor that is called object. So this is the prototype chain, and we are inheriting methods and properties of an object to a department, and methods and properties of a department to employee, and methods and properties of employee to employee one. This is the prototype chain, and we are able to achieve the inheritance with the help of classes also. So please do practice multiple times. And if you don't use the super constructor here, if you don't call this super constructor, you will get an error. So simple, just thumb rule. So you are inheriting things from department. So our responsibility is to provide the details of department also. That's why we are calling this. This means we are invoking super. Invoking this super means we are invoking the constructor of the base class, and we are providing the department and role. Suppose if you have any other thing, suppose experience, how many years of experience you have. So here what we need to do, definitely we should provide the experience details. And here you can provide experience details, and you can define the method like this dot experience, the industry. So you can find this information like the dollar, okay, this dot experience. Okay, this is for department. Suppose if you want to add any property to the employee, what you need to do? You can pass the information in the constructor, and you can define that this dot phone number. Suppose if you want to attach a phone number after experience. So let me, so here experience is like, okay, 15 years of experience. Let me, so if you are binding a phone number, blah 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 blah, phone number, then what you need to do? This phone number is part of employee, right? So phone number. So simple. So just decide the phone number should be a part of employee directly. We don't need to put in the department, right? So phone number is equal to a phone number. And whenever you are trying to fetch the employee details, yes, you can provide the details of, okay, this dot phone number. So what's the wrong here? Let me check. Okay, here this should be there. Simple. So now what will happen? Super. We have provided one HR manager have a 15 years of experience, and the employee details Vijay K 33 mail and phone number, wrong number, of course. So we are able to achieve the inheritance. This is very simple. And yeah, maybe if you have some confusion with super constructor, please do a practice 1 or 2 times, and remember the thumb rule. We are not inheriting from object, we are inheriting from the class. That's why that is our responsibility to provide department name, role, and experience details again for employee. So we are just, this employee is there, but already department details are available in other class. So instead of rewriting here, we're just taking a, um, inheritance from the parent class. That's it. Okay, if you understand, just put in the comment like understood or yes or something. If you don't understand, if you are facing any issue, just send me a mail or put a comment there that what you didn't understand, so that I will come up with a new example, or I will create a separate video for you to understand in detail. So thank you, and see you in the next video. Definitely that is going to be very interesting topic. Okay, see you. Bye bye.